Good morning. Over the last week, I've seen and heard some pretty stupid statements from people who purport to serve this country. First, I'll deal with the first one, Malcolm Roberts. The Queen's not the President of Australia. Why would you make a stupid statement? Why don't you get your facts correct? The Queen is not the Queen of Australia either. She's the monarch. She's the Queen over her subjects. We are her subjects. As I said yesterday in a video, we got over 2 million people have sworn the lawful oath to go back to being her subjects. We do not have political parties in this country. That is treason and fraud. Don't like that statement too bad. I don't care what party you want to form. You form a party, you register it, you go down the toilet as a traitor. Don't like that. Oh, boo-hoo, get over yourself. That's a fact. I know a few of the people. I know Rod Cullerton. I know what he's trying to do. We split company because I don't agree with what he said, because he is wrong. You cannot go into Parliament as a political party. I know you registered only yourself, but you employ the rest. If you think you don't, you must understand this and make it clear. Once they register under you, you've employed them. When do you get paid? You get paid on the amount of votes they get. Don't say you don't, because you do. Everybody who gets voted for gets paid according to the number of votes over a certain amount. You know that's the law. That's why I went in with you to check up how it worked. The whole system is criminal. You cannot represent a political party or its ideals and represent the people. We have a constitution for a reason. And no, Bosie, the Constitution isn't irrelevant. It's absolutely authoritative. It is the supreme law of this country. Sorry if you don't like what I say, but I've tried to contact you by email so you didn't make a fool of yourself by making dumb statements that the Constitution is obsolete. And yes, believe me, I did record it. Now, what's passed around today is a purported letter from the Queen. That needs clearing up, because Prince Charles can never be the king. He married a whore in British law. Might rhyme, that's not my intention. He was sleeping with Camilla and having a relationship with Camilla while he was married to Diana. That is against British law. That is against the principles required of somebody to take the throne of England. She would make a mockery of the empire if she appointed Charles the King. I am not interested in what people think. I'm talking about their law for setting up the king or queen. So, take it or leave it, that's how it stands at this moment. Now, I don't care if you don't believe me, you just go read it yourself, you'll find out. Now, in relation to the truckies thing, and those tow truck drivers that were towing away people's vehicles, you are traitors. Every police officer that moved those people on, you're filthy traitors. I hope you are proud of yourselves. Your family shouldn't be. The best thing they can do is stand on your bed and urinate on you for your disgusting behaviour towards the people of this country. Put you at the level you belong. How dare you move people who are peacefully protesting and start shoving them around? Don't say you didn't. And what are you doing going against the people with assault weapons and everything else? They don't have firearms. Oh yeah, we found a firearm in a truck from Western Australia, which was licensed. What does the licence say? Carry and use. Use inside Western Australia, carry anywhere in the Commonwealth. Why? Because he's one part of the Commonwealth. So what part did he offend? None. You made a big deal out of nothing, and there's idiots running around saying, he had a whole heap of firearms. No, he didn't. No, this was a peaceful protest, except for you idiots. You have no right to do what you did. We have every right to protest, and all you're doing is being a thug for idiots. A thug for idiots called politicians. Now, on the 31st of January, after I spent time putting warrants together, affidavits together, the statements of facts together, a gentleman helped us make sure that they were in the correct order. And we put out warrants for the arrest of Mark McGowan and Kim Beazley. We then, a gentleman I know very well, put together a wanted poster. These wanted posters are not a joke. They're not to promote somebody else's stupid ideals. Your misconception of what was put out. You see, wanted, Premier of Western Australia, Mark McGowan, this one. This has nothing to do with anything we're doing. It is a fraud. It is a lie, outright lie. And whoever put it out should pull their head in. You're interfering in a lawful process, perverting the course of justice with this crap. If you took the time to watch my video yesterday and understand, there were no states ever lawfully constituted once they removed their constitutions. I'll read out what this garbage says. Wanted, Premier of Western Australia. No, we don't want him at all. You have been charged with offences of misprision of treason and the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act. That's a nonsense. You're charged under the misprision of treason and the Commonwealth Criminal Code. If you were, but he wasn't. Crimes against humanity, he hasn't. Universal Declaration of Biotechnics and Human Rights, he wasn't. International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, he wasn't. Independent Covenant of Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, he wasn't charged under that. Helsinki Code, Declaration of Geneva, Biosecurity Act, Nuremberg Principle, Nuremberg Code. You know what I say to this? This is lies. That's its value. None. And to the people who put it out, pull your head in. You are doing nothing in this state. Why would you put out stupid garbage like this? No wonder we can't get anywhere. This was put it out. This is a document put out by the people of Western Australia, for the people of Western Australia. This is the truth. It states, wanted, Mark McGowan. A warrant for the arrest of this man has been issued. Yes, we did it. He must be turned into the nearest police station to be held in custody until the day of his trial for the crimes mentioned below. Fact. For serious crimes against the Western Australian people of treachery to overturn the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK and the Commonwealth Constitution 1901. That is what we put out. This is official. The rest is crap. Understand this. They never had a lawful parliament in this country. Never have had. Federal one. Couldn't. Because Western Australia left its constitution out and put one with 32 sections missing. What aren't you understanding, and I tell you what you're not understanding, the fact of law. You are perverting what we've done. Get out of our business and pull your head in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Putting out garbage that looks like a fairy tale from the wild, wild west. We are not. We may be from the west, but I'll tell you now, we didn't put that out. We don't agree with all those things. We don't agree with the international common law courts. We have laws. It's called a constitution. If you put the state back together under the constitution, like I said yesterday, which is what we're going to do, we the people are the Commonwealth. We the people are the state of Western Australia. We the people in that designated area. We say what goes on here. I've tried to explain to people involved in that movement, your movement is good. Get your nose out of each state's business. You cannot run it from another area, and that includes federal. You can't, because we don't have any representatives. I told Mike Holt where to get off because everything he's put is dumb, stupid, and against the law. You cannot use that overseas common law international court of justice because there's no justice. The whole lot is a fake. I don't care if it achieves something in another country. It cannot be applied here. Look at the law, understand it, and you'll find out none of it can. What can be applied here is a warrant in the first instance. To comply with the law, it must have an affidavit. It did have. It did have a warrant in the first instance. It must have a statement of facts or evidence. It's in there what he did. He was charged with overturning the Commonwealth Constitution Act. Treachery to do it. How did they do it? He's upheld the Australia Act. There were no lawful states by 1975 when Victoria was the last state to remove its constitution, replace it with another one. Wake up. No states have ever had their lawful constitutions operating under the original format. They changed it at Federation. Just after Federation, New South Wales dumped it by August 1902. Western Australia never put it in. So it's the coming together of the representatives of each state which form the federal parliament. It couldn't happen. Not in its original form and not now. So ScoMo and all the scum sitting in the federal parliament, none of yous exist. You cannot go into a federal parliament that doesn't exist. How can it exist? Make the states go back under their constitutions. That's what the woken up people of Western Australia are doing. Making the state go back under its constitution. Until that happens, there is no authority for anyone to exist, including Mark Halfwit McGowan, who's pretending to have COVID so he doesn't have to go to Queensland or wherever. Where did the offence occur? Did it occur in WA? Then it must be heard in WA, whether it's a federal court or not. Unless it's a constitutional issue, then it has to be heard in wherever the High Court sits. But still, in Western Australia. Read your constitution, you'll understand. Mark McGowan, you're a gutless coward, we know that. You're a maggot of a bloke. Now getting to all that garbage, all these international covenants and agreement, who made them? When was the referendum? Nuremberg trials. Where was the referendum to accept the results? Why weren't we given them? Because the political parties knew then, and they know now, none of that can be applied until it's put to the people. I'm not saying what come out of it isn't good. I'm not saying what come out of it could be used to you. Some of it can, some of it dump it in the bin, it's garbage. We did not join the League of Nations. We did not join the International Covenant on Human Rights or any of that garbage. We did not join the United Nations. Julie Bishop, the half-wit, paid millions and millions of dollars to get a seat in the United Nations. When did she get permission off the people to join that? Do the external affairs powers of the Constitution grant that right? No, they don't. No, they don't. The Constitution limits the powers of both state and federal parliament. The states are set up under 107, 108 and 109 and draw all their authority referentially from that Constitution. It must comply. The Commonwealth draws its authority from that Constitution, the Commonwealth Parliament. It must comply. If it's not granted by that, it remains with us, the people. What part aren't you understanding? Oh, the political parties have done this. You don't exist in law. You can have all the political parties you want, but you can't sit in Parliament under them. You reckon you can? I'll show you where it's blatant treason. Treason and misprision of treason is in the Commonwealth Criminal Code, Section 83. Read it and weep. Stop putting out dumb documents that are not the truth. They're not what the people of Western Australia want nor need. What we want is our state back. Get off your butts and do what we've done. Force your state parliaments and their police to comply with your laws. Laws made pursuant to your Constitution. Boot out stupid fools who think, oh, it's irrelevant, or this doesn't exist, or they can do this. They can do nothing. We are under the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK and the Constitution derived from it. We are under each individual state constitution in its original form. The parliaments have never used them. They've decided they can change it from day dot. It was New South Wales that snivelled and griped several times to the High Court thinking it could tax land. Now all the idiots belonging to political parties have changed your land titles to Torrens titles so you don't own anything. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to realise, maybe I am one person. Maybe I started out as one person. But look at the white people now who start to realise Mark McGowan and idiots like him and the filthy traitors in every political party have taken everything you own. Everything. And they want more and more money to put more and more in their own pockets and in their companies own overseas. They also borrow money. Why are they borrowing money when we have trillions and trillions in assets under the ground? Why isn't Mark McGowan have a team of doctors on the border testing every truck driver that goes there? Take a little bit of blood, put it on a slide, put it in a microscope, and you can tell straight away if you have COVID-19. I'll tell you now, you're never ever going to find it because it doesn't exist. A Freedom of Information application to the TGA said it doesn't exist. Almost every country in the world that's gone looking for it has come back and said it doesn't exist. The others haven't bothered to answer. The fact is, COVID-19 has never existed. Oh yeah, there's a sickness there. It's hay fever? No, it is a type of flu. More than likely a revamped version of the Spanish flu, which was concocted by the relatives of the biggest idiot pushing it now. Who cares? The flu can be overturned simply with ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, and things like that, and zinc. Stop lying to the people. Get that crap out of it and stop killing people with your vaccines. Don't say they're not killing people, because they are. All the deaths and all the hospitalisations are from the vaccines. Unvaccinated people, perfectly safe, unless they've got underlying problems like heart and they get the flu and die, which was occurring regular before COVID came along and saved the world from the dreaded flu. Wake up. We had 26,000 people across this country passed away from complications for the flu 2019, 18, 19, around there. And now what have we got? 3/5 of none. The marvellous COVID vaccines come along and killed it all. And you idiots wearing masks, you only wear a face nappy if you dribble crap. It belongs on the other end of your body, you morons, not blocking air coming out and fresh air coming in. Anyone who has studied it knows you can't catch a virus unless you give bodily fluids to somebody else. You think it's any other way, you're mad. You can catch a germ, a sickness, and there's plenty around. A lot of them pushed by the government and found in all the other vaccines. Your body can overcome a lot. It destroys lives with the childhood ones. If I hadn't known that, my kids never would have got them because they don't need them. I didn't. I had measles, German measles as well, the mumps, chicken pox, all those things. And at 74 years of age, I'm perfectly healthy. Why would I bother to get crap put in my body because some goon wanting to earn millions wants to put it there? Why would I do that? Because we were never informed. Don't say we were never informed. And no kid can give informed consent when they've been to the left-wing socialist stupid schools and had their heads pumped full of garbage that somehow these viruses exist. Somehow they jump out and hang on trees and everything else, which they don't do, especially in hot weather. They die instantly outside the body. Come to Geraldton, it's 40, 42, 44 degrees. There is no virus going to survive outside the human body. None. It's certainly not going to hang around swinging on trees, just waiting for you to come round so it can drop down and go through the vent of your car. That's why you've got to wear a face nappy driving your car, you idiots. You brain-dead fools. You look so dumb and stupid. I walk around shopping centres and see someone with a face nappy. We know how you talk, you dribble crap. That's what a nappy's for. A receptacle for crap. Anything else is a fraud. You people need to wake up. A virus does not live outside the body. And no amount of lies from some political-backed, money-grabbing half-wit called a politician says so. They all talk nonsense. So now I've got off my chest garbage. Understand this. This is a lawful document. Leave it alone. We want Mark McGowan inside. He's going inside with or without the assistance of the police. No, we're not taking over the government. We're taking back our country. Step by step. Take it back lawfully. Use your constitution. We don't have to wipe out their government, what they call a government. We just have to activate ours. Walk in and take it. Those court buildings belong to us. If we can't use their buildings and they want to use force, that's fine. Stand the morons in a paddock, convict them and hang them on the tree, if that's what they want. Deal with them in the paddock. Whip them, do whatever you like. Whatever the law says, you give them. You take everything they got. These people have got to learn you are bound by the law. You are not going to break our law. We the people own the law. We own the Constitution. We own this country. You fools are not having it. And stop promoting garbage from overseas without first gaining the permission of the people. All you're promoting is a one world government. That's why I don't agree with Mike Holt. He wants to change the Constitution. One system of common law. There is not one system of common law. Our Constitution is common law, based on common law. Magna Carta, 1688, Bill of Rights, Act of Settlement, Habeas Corpus, King James Bible, Horsbury's Laws of England, Chalice Real Property. Our common law rights are protected under our Constitution. Mike Holt,
Amen.
Shut up or promote the correct stuff. You're a dribbling fool until you do. Don't like what I say, Mike. Shut up. You did a video trying to denigrate me. I didn't say nothing. But somebody with a brain came on there, basically said you're an idiot, because he's correct. Nothing's ever changed. You go from idiocy to idiocy. Time to wake up, you people. Stop promoting yourselves. Promote this country.
Yes.
It is we the people, not we, a small group of people. And as for that thing in Canberra, I wish you well. And you idiots calling yourselves police, you're not. You're employed by an overseas agency. You all have ABNs. We are only giving you a short period of time to toss them over and come under us. Put your weapons away. Talk with your mouths. Deal with your mouths. Stop your threats. You're going armed in public to cause fear without any lawful reason. You are not agents of the Crown. You are not employed by us. Every time you step out your building with a weapon, you are creating fear on the public. That's what it's for. And every time you do, you're committing a serious criminal offence. It is jailable for a long period of time. You use those weapons, even your pepper spray, on people to cause violence, and that's what you're doing. The people aren't violent, you are. Spraying in tents. What sort of a sicko, you're mad. You need locking up in a mental institution. Spraying pepper spray on kids in a tent. You hero.
And spraying to our friend Sid Doberick.
Yeah, and spraying Sid Turmeric in the eye. You low down piece of scum. What were you doing with the pepper spray out? There was no violence from anybody. Only from yous. You've got to understand, you're going to pay for what you're doing. It's all filmed. Just like you, we can film too. If you get dressed up like idiots and prance around in those black suits, you got no justification. You're not officers of the Crown.
It's thugs.
Your only authority is under the Crown. So pull your heads in before you spend the rest of your lives in jail and try to explain that to your family. I was an idiot. I went with the government. They're not a government. They're a parliament, you morons. Have a nice day.